Good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Brian King. Today, I came with a very sore topic to many families. So, today, I wanted to address it as quick as I can. Today is a Sunday where I am, so I usually come here on Sundays to relax and absorb the nature around me. So, yeah, so let's get to it. I really think this is important for people to listen to it, because this message is dedicated to people who are married, people who've just started living together. Yeah, it affects a lot of families. It affects new couples. It affects those who've been married for quite some time. So yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, I'm around nature today, guys. I'm around nature today, but at least I'm free. I'm able to talk to you guys without any distractions whatsoever. Right. The issue that I want to talk of is dysfunctional families. Dysfunctional families is a term used for families which don't operate the way they're supposed to operate. So today I want to touch on that. I've seen that most families have this setback of not being able to get along for reasons best known to them. But sometimes, just communicating with your partner is more than enough for you to resolve disputes and live happy. We're not talking of perfect happiness all the time, but we're talking of happiness whenever two people love each other. There needs to be a bit of happiness so that we all both expect to get home to a happy face. A home is like sanctuary to relax, so you need to be happy. You need to be at home and feel at home. So I think the number one reason that a functioning family now, becomes dysfunctional is because of lack of communication. Learn to communicate with your partner, learn to communicate with your kids, learn to communicate with your parents. Whatever differences you have or you had can be resolved by sitting down and talking about it. So let me start on the husband part. As a husband, you're supposed to bring joy to your family. You're supposed to bring joy to your wife in particular, and then it all extends to your kids, to everyone else. Your wife should trust you. Your wife should open up to you. Your wife should know that you are capable of keeping her safe, protecting her. Your wife should feel safe with you. Not whenever you leave home, she's thinking you're doing something out of the ordinary or you're up to no good. It shouldn't be like that. So for us husbands, we're supposed to spoil your wife every now and then. You know, tell her she's beautiful. Keep her close to you. Keep her knowing that you love her and you're not intending to leave her or your eyes are for someone else. Pump her, take her out. I believe every couple needs a day out, a day away from the kids, a day away from your work, a day away from whatever keeps you busy all the time, where you spend time with your wife and ask her, my wife, how have you been? What's been bothering you? Is there anything that you would want me to do for you? Keep in touch with your wife so that she opens up to you. Never be abusive to your wife. Never speak back to your wife. Try to be patient. Be patient enough to understand where she's coming from. Think before you respond. Not everything that she speaks to you about needs you to be fighting her. No, sometimes patience is very important. Patience is number one in every relationship. If you're not patient, it's going to be hard for you to have a happy relationship. So I believe we play a role. If you're a man who drinks or goes out every weekend, respect your wife to come back at a decent time. You don't need to be coming back early in the morning. It's kind of rude, really, to to be a man who goes out every weekend and you leave your wife miserable, suspecting and thinking you're doing all sorts of things because you're spending the night out with people who are not your family. It doesn't make sense. Spend more time with your family because your family is always going to be there for you. Whether you're happy or whether you're sad, your family is there for you. Whether you're sick or you're healthy, your family is there for you. So I personally believe that we play a role. And if your children watch you every day being abusive, whether verbally abusive or physically abusive to your wife, your kids will resent you in life. And then you ask yourself what happened, they drift far away from you, and you keep asking yourself, why don't your kids appreciate you or tell you these things that you need to know as a parent? It's because you're being dysfunctional. You're the root cause of unhappiness within the family. That's the honest truth. So let's try to live in the likeness of Jesus, where righteousness is number one before anything. I'm not saying you should be perfect or do the extraordinary squeaky clean lifestyle. No, I'm saying try to emulate how Jesus would have handled certain situations. You don't need to cheat. That's the honest truth, and lie to your wife and whatnot. Because imagine if she was cheating on you and she goes to another man for that comfort and sneaks around just like you do. It wouldn't be nice. It's not a nice feeling. Trust me, it's not a nice feeling to know that the person that you love so dearly and that you trust and that you built a home with is cheating on you with someone else. So think about it. Before you do something bad to someone else, think how you would feel if that is done to you as well. So I believe we need to live in peace as a couple. You need to live in peace with your siblings, your relatives, whatever it may be. As long as you're in relation with that person, try and live in peace. Don't overthink things. So basically, as a husband, you need to be the reason your kids wake up every morning expecting to do the best that they can, because they know my dad is got my back. My dad, I want to make my dad proud, so that they thrive to be the best that they can, knowing that they've got a parent who really appreciates the good things that they do. Always be there for your kids, whether it's sports day, whether it's whatever. Be there for your kids so that it becomes a functional family. And as much as we discipline our kids, and sometimes we become harsh, whatever, just trying to discipline our kids, but always make sure at the end of the day you sit them down and tell them you are doing what you're doing because you love them, and you want them to be the best version that they can be. So I believe a relationship being dysfunctional starts up from yourself, as oneself, the way you think, the way you handle a certain situation. It's not always about fighting. You don't need to fight all the time. It's not about fighting. You do not need to fight all the time. Being defensive is not an attractive trait to be attached to someone. Your kids shouldn't be afraid of you. They shouldn't be afraid to tell you there is a bully, there is someone who's bothering me at school. They should be open with you. Your wife should be open with you. She shouldn't fear you. She's your love of your life, so you should make sure you treat her good so that she treats you good as well. So as a husband, we play a part of making a family functional or dysfunctional. So try to respect each other. um, sometimes I would respect someone who's going to sit down his wife and say, I no longer have love for you, I've met someone else, move on with your life. At least you're not lying to her. At least you get to regroup herself and find someone who's going to love her for who she is. So than the cheating and doing things behind closed doors, it doesn't help, because at the end of the day, someone is always hurt. Someone is always hurt. Imagine the sinful life you be living, committing adultery, fornication, whatever it may be that is the devil's going to use to attach himself to you. So it's not worth it, guys. I've been with my wife for 15 years. I've never cheated on her. I've never felt the need to do that. I thrive to try and make her happy as best as I can. We're not perfect because there's nothing perfect. Only perfection comes only with God. So we try by all means to treat each other good, to treat each other with respect, with love and affection. My kids tell me everything, even things that they're not supposed to tell me. It's because I'm that type of parent who is open. They have a level of respect for me as a father, but they are also open to me to tell me these deep things that most kids wouldn't tell their parents. So I pray that you may try and thrive to have a functional family. A functional family will help you through so many things. You grow financially, you grow as a family. Your family will always be happy, you'll be blissful, you'll be joyful, you'll be in good health because there is no projection or instigator of any stress because you live in harmony with everybody else. So try and be the key for it being functional as a husband or a man or a boyfriend, whatever it is. You don't need to stress your woman all the time. If you're tired of her, tell her that you're tired of her. She moves on than to make her hold on to you, and you have a strong grip on her life and slow her down. Yet you know your heart is with someone else. Rather go to that someone else and leave her so that she may grow her wings and regroup herself and find someone who's going to love her and treat her the way she wants to be treated. So basically, I believe that as a man, we need play a major role for the wives. It doesn't mean that every time your husband hides certain things from you, it's always because he's cheating or he's doing God knows what. I like to think it's best to pray for your husband on a daily basis. Pray for your husband. Pray to God to guide your husband, to to groom him, to make him the man that God wants him to be, and then let the rest leave to God. And emulate the way that he treats you. If he treats you good, treat him good also. If he treats you bad, pray for him. Be the warrior who prays on a daily basis for your family. Pray for your kids. Pray for your husband on a daily basis. Trust me, your prayers don't hit a brick wall. If you see him not changing, it means you got married to the wrong partner in the first place, or you forced things into that relationship. Because whatever God has given us and whatever God has given you and me, when we're now a couple, we're now in unison, we're now one. It means we are supposed to get along, and we are able to get along because we were matched by God. So if you see it being always rifting and drifting apart all the time, sometimes maybe you're with the wrong person. So sometimes you rather swallow the sour pill and let go of the relationship and find your happiness and find what makes you happy. So I believe your kids should grow up in a loving home where when they grow up, they and their parents themselves or adults themselves, they remember the good memories that you left, the good memories of how you loved their mother, of how well you treated their mother, and how well you took care of them, and the way you treated them, and the loving and playful and blissful home that they grew up in, a warm home, so that those are the memories you're supposed to leave behind when you go to be with the Lord. So I believe strongly that as the head of the family, you're supposed to play an integral part, a very important part into a functional family. So yeah, I believe that's the honest truth. And with siblings, sometimes most siblings don't get along because of simple things. Simple things like they've got different dreams altogether. So don't pull down someone when they have a dream that was given to them, and you pull them down and say it's not going to work or it's not going to to go the way it's supposed to go. Leave them. If they're going to fail, let them fail on their own. Advise them. Help them where you can. It's just like a child who's learning to ride a bicycle. You're not supposed to always be holding the bicycle so that the child doesn't fall. Sometimes let your child fall so that they learn from that mistake. But once they learn to ride the bicycle, everything becomes norm, and it flows, and everything in their lives, they learn lessons from the ups and downs that life can bring to them. So sometimes allow your own kids to grow, allow your wife to grow. So I believe as siblings we don't get along because we've got different dreams, we've got different visions of life. The way we want to do our lives or treat our women or treat our wives or whatever is going to be different, because each and every home has its own rules and regulations that are put by the husband and the wife. So I believe really those boundaries should be respected. Advice can be given, but boundaries should be respected. So yeah, I think functional families are the key to a life of peace and happiness and joy. The world will be a better place if it all starts off with functional families. If you study the history of crime, of psychotic dysfunctions and mental instabilities and whatever, it all roots back to how that person was brought up. The criminals you see today were shaped by how they grew up, what environment they grew up in. If your father is abusive, trust me, 9 out of 10 you're going to be abusive also to your wife, because you grew up thinking that is right, yet it's a wrong thing. If your father was an alcoholic, 9 out of 10 chances you're going to grow up and also be an alcoholic, because there's no one who's going to tell you it's wrong if your own father was doing it. If your father was promiscuous and had kids all over the place, you're probably going to grow up and think it's the right thing to do. So as parents, let's try and shape our child's future through what we do right now. So I hope I've said a lot and it helps, and I hope that and pray that God guides our families and we become champions in the future. We groom kids who are going to be champions and leaders with love, leaders with compassion, leaders with vision for nations. So I hope, yeah, I hope it's been great. It's been a great lesson that I've told you, and I pray that all things go according to the way that we wish they should go. So anyway, today I'm shooting at my favorite place. I love nature a lot. I'm sure you've seen. I love being around nature. I love being around trees, mountains, the water, and all. I love that. So today I'm shooting there, and I hope you learned so much from what I've said. Let's let's live in peace and harmony. Let's always put love at the forefront. Let's put God at the forefront. Let's put our relationships in God's hands so that He manages the relationships for us if we cannot. So I believe we are destined for greatness if we trust God. So, and one more thing, when you feel you're at the edge of saying the wrong thing or saying things that you're going to regret when you're fighting with your wife or fighting with whoever, I believe it's better to walk away. Simply just walk away. Walk away and tell yourself that God is going to sort it out. You rather write a text message and say, I'm sorry, if you've got pride to tell them, or the argument was heated enough where no one could understand anything. I think it's best you best walk away for some time, spend some time apart, and think over everything and evaluate the important things in your life. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for viewing this one, and I hope you learned a lot. And without families, there is no world, because the most important thing with God is love, and a functional family. That's how he planned it. He planned it that we meet our woman, a woman of our dreams. We marry her, we have family, we multiply and live in happiness and in joy. So thank you guys. So let me show you where I am right now. How beautiful this place is. So you see the nature. There's just so much nature around here. The trees, the dam, everything. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you. I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed, because as I told you, one video will never be enough. Thank you guys. Take care. God bless. Bye.